Good morning, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. This is Sean, and welcome to the Rebel Files. This is going to be our review of Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian called The Sin. Now, normally Josh and I would do a review, but he decided to go out of town for the weekend and house shopping and all kinds of stuff. He's having life. So it's just me, and this is going to be light spoilers because there's something at the end that I think that we need to talk about, and I'll let you know when we get to that point. This episode might be the best of the three so far. The series overall has really been good, but this one has an emotional depth that I didn't expect to get from a character that you can't see his face, and his ability, whoever's in the suit when they film these, their ability to emote with their body language has been really awesome. And I've really appreciated that ability to do that because, yeah, cool, it's Star Wars and there's laser guns and cool guys in armor and a bunch of aliens and spaceships and stuff like that, but has to be an emotional connection for the audience to really get into it. And so far, this is the episode that really, for me, gave me that. The way this episode is shot, too, I want to talk about Deborah Chow. She's done a bunch of different shows, directed different shows and stuff like that. And she's going to run and direct the Obi-Wan series that's coming up. But this was, I think, her coming out party for a lot of people, to be able to recognize her ability to tell this story and the way it's shot and the way it's hard to explain the level of detail that is put in this particular episode. I was really happy with this episode, obviously. A couple story points that I want to talk about. The Mandalorian going and getting his prize, getting his payment for returning his quarry, as they've been calling it. That scene where they bring out, we're going to get into spoilers now because you can't talk about this episode without the spoilers. The first time in this episode where I was like, oh my God, I don't believe they did that, is they brought the ice cream machine out. When the client brings out the ice cream machine with all the Beskar in it, is like a stand-up and cheer moment for super Star Wars nerds, because it's from the scene in Bespin. I cannot remember the character's name right now, but he goes running by and he's carrying an ice cream machine. Now there's actually like a reason for him to actually, they talked about it's a data port and all this other stuff and different stories and canons, but to have the client pull it out and set it on the counter, and there's just tons of Beskar in it, and it's just it was so fan service, but appropriate for the storytelling aspects that it's just next level for me. The Mandalorian's decision to go get Baby Yoda, as we've been calling him, Sweet Baby Steve, or Sweet Baby Kevin here at the Pop Culture Cult. His decision to go and save Sweet Baby Steve from whatever is going to happen or was supposed to happen to him was, I'm not going to say it was out of, I expected something like that to happen. But what we got shots from the doctor saying, I'm trying to save it, please don't hurt it. And the client saying, take as much of the materials as you need and we can move on, just reinforces the idea that they're trying to clone Sweet Baby Steve, or Sweet Baby Kevin. We keep calling him Kevin. It's Kevin. So the idea that they are they're going to clone him. They were trying to clone him. He is the nuclear football. I say he is it's a baby. It's a baby. We don't know what the gender is, but it's the nuclear football. They're trying to build, at least it seems like, some kind of super army with the idea of cloning or using parts of Sweet Baby Kevin. And so I got it right this time. But this episode, as much as it was cool to see him go rush in and save Baby Yoda, and the fight scene with him carrying the baby was very reminiscent of the scene from the latest Fast and the Furious movie with Jason Statham on the airplane kicking everybody's ass and kind of thing. That was a lot of fun. But it's the shot of all the Mandalorians with the rocket packs coming to his aid that was the second stand up and cheer moment for me. It was something I thought we would never see in a live action anything. To have multiple Mandalorians with multiple jetpacks is beyond fan service. It is everything we want in a Star Wars show. It is everything we've ever needed and didn't know we needed it. We've seen multiple Mandalorians fighting with jetpacks in Rebels and in Clone Wars, but just the idea of seeing all of them coming out, and they make a point early on of saying that it's really hard to find a Mandalorian, and there's you only ever one, and then the clan itself talks about how they all have to hide in the basement, in the cellars, and in caves, and they can only be out one at a time. It's a here it is. We are real. We are all here, and I just believe that just sets up so much for maybe not necessarily this season, because this season is going to be about saving Sweet Baby Kevin and having finding a home for him and keeping him safe. But going forward, what season 2 could be about, the uniting of the clans. I have this theory right now that Bo-Katan is going to show up in season 2. All of that is just super exciting to me. Now, going forward, are we really going to get into the teeth of the story now? He is the Mandalorian himself is now going to have to go off to a different planet and protect Sweet Baby Kevin, Baby Yoda, with all of his might, and he's going to need help. And this is when I think Giancarlo Stanton is going to come in, because I think he's really the one who wants the baby to use to clone or to build a super army, because in pictures and stuff like that, we've seen the Death Troopers with him. And I think if he's trying to enhance the Death Troopers, it could be really interesting to use the cloning material from Baby Yoda. So this episode is straight out amazing. It's the fan service that's going on in the show makes complete sense for the show. It's not just fan service for fan service. This is one of the things I actually wanted to say. Like I said, with the jetpacks and the ice cream machine and just all the little references and little hints and nods to the original trilogy and the holiday special and just I'm at a loss of words right now about how excited I am about the show. And I love the fact that it's week to week. It gives us a week to sit down and talk about it and absorb everything and watch it multiple times and catch all the references in the background. And then we get a new episode and we can connect it on to the last one. And what we've been doing lately, what we did this week was we went back and watched episodes 1 and 2 on Friday, and then I watched the episode 3 or chapter 3 on Friday, and then Janice and I sat down on Saturday and watched episode 3. So we have connecting them all together is helping with any reservations I had about how the story is going forward. So that is my thoughts, at least for this week's episode called The Sin of the Mandalorian. Let us know what you thought in the comments. like this video. Help us out by subscribing to the channel. We also have our Facebook page of Pop Culture Cult, and we also have a Mandalorian fan page. It's called the Great Mandalorian Fan Group on Facebook. All the links to all of our stuff, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff is in the description down below. And until next time, I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. This is the way.